What's up, everybody? Doing a market recap video for today, April the 6th. Nope, no videos tomorrow. Also, no, nothing next week. Taking my first break since August. That was right before I think Tesla did the share split and we exploded. Generally, heads up, when I go on vacation, now I'm not actually going anywhere because we're not allowed to go anywhere. Something significant happens in the market. Whatever market we're focused on, something significant happens. So next week, be prepared for it. Whether it's extremely bullish, extremely bearish, there's always an event once I'm gone. So heads up. So I'm going to talk about the market. This is likely to be a lengthier video than some of the more recent ones because I'm going to go through all the indexes. Then I'm going to get into all the tickers that are requested because we got no videos for tomorrow. I just want to start off the video by doing a little bit of, I've noticed in the past couple weeks, I've started to deviate a little bit from talking about the market psychology because we got into a really redundant zone in the market where it was just chop, capital preservation. So I didn't want to be a dead horse and always talking about capital preservation. Traders are coming in not wanting to hear capital preservation mindset, right? They want to make some money. Show me the trade. Where's the next trade? And then what happened was, once we got this impulsive move, like I assured everybody, we will catch those big trades. Huge opportunity will come. And massive trades have happened. Great. The thing is to recognize when you're in that environment. Not all environments are the same. When we had this environment here, when we had our recent, is this the January? Yeah, here's the January, February run up in here. Nice environment. Obviously, the August into July, August into September environment, absolutely extremely bullish. When we have these environments in the market, it's generally a pretty easy time to make money. It's the challenge deciphering when you're in that environment. Now, this one was completely different because we've moved into a strong bullish environment with the NASDAQ, with the Dow, with the Russell, with SPX all moving together nicely these past couple of days since we got that triangle break on the NASDAQ and we went into our impulsive move. But not all names were running. Not all names were going together. So it ended up still being a stock picker's environment. And you have to recognize this. You have to be prepared for it. I find that we have traders, it's just force of habit, always trying to make money every day. Of course, everybody wants to make money every day, which is impossible. You want to make money every day? Go work a job. You're going to get paid. You're going to get paid your hourly wage, your salary, whatever it is. As a trader, if you're full-time trading and you're thinking like this, you are not a professional. You will never be a professional if you think like this, that you need to make money every single day in the market. You're just going to burn out. You're never going to be able to hold a trend. You're never going to be able to allow something to develop. You're never going to have proper entry and exit targets. It's every day is a scalp trade. Every day is trying to catch a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Flipping sides every day. Long term, it's gonna be a struggle. I mean, you can go on a nice streak. You can go on a nice streak when the market's being favorable, but over time, it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle. The key to being very successful as a professional is you have to have your objective. What is the objective that you're trying to achieve? If you're a trader, full-time trader, a part-time trader, swing trader, day trader, whatever it is, what's your objective? Start with that, okay? This is what I'm trying to accomplish. When I know what I'm trying to accomplish, you have a whiteboard, put it up on your whiteboard, put it on a sticky board, put it on a sticky note, have it in front of you. This is what you're trying to achieve. And when you're trying to achieve it, that's the bigger picture item. So you have a goal. How are you going to get to that goal? You need to break it down into a plan. What's that plan that's going to get you to achieve your goals? When you don't have a big goal, you don't have a plan, every day is a grind. Every day you're coming in and you're saying, listen, I got to make some money. I got to find something in here. And I hear the story over and over again now for traders that gave up their January, February gains. They had no goals in mind, right? They had no objective. They had no bigger picture view. And when you don't have that bigger picture view, you feel like you need to make money every day. What happens when you get into a chop session like we did the past 6 weeks before we finally broke out here is that you give it all back. And then you sit back and you think, man, I just gave up 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 of gains. When your yearly goal was probably, half achieved or even achieved in that moment. But because you're coming in every day feeling like you need to make money, you got FOMO, what's next? I don't want to miss this. You end up burning out. And when we get into a chop session, you didn't have the capacity to say, this is my time to sit back, relax, protect my higher low, chill out, wait till the market's favorable, and then participate again. You didn't do that because you didn't have a plan. You didn't understand where you were in your bigger objective, where your bigger goals were. Learn from this moving forward. What are you trying to achieve? If you don't know what you're trying to achieve, stop. Work on that. Instead of working on the next trade, the next chart pattern, right? Trying to learn something new from psychology or technical analysis, fundamental analysis, work on you and what you're trying to achieve in this business. Because if you don't know, every day you're going to make trades that you don't know if are helping you get to where you want to be. Everyone thinks I just want to make money, right? You just want to make money. Yeah, of course, we all want to make money. But there's a time to make money. And there's a time to be protective. And if you made a lot of money, and you say, well, this market doesn't seem so good right now, I'm not sure. Why give it back? Why force? You're not going to make money all every day, every week. I mean, 12 months, you could do it. I mean, if the market's really good and you're on the right side of the market, you can make money for 12 straight months. Absolutely. I think that's what all of 2020 was, right? It was very rare to have a red month in there. Maybe September would have been a red month if you're a bull. Start with your objectives. What are your goals? And then break it down. What do you got to do to achieve it? What are the trades you want to take? How much capital do you want to be using? What are the patterns that you say are favorable? What's your trading style? If you can't break that all down, every day you're just going to come in and try to catch something. And guess what? That is hard. Very hard. And that's why you likely have no patience, because you really don't have an objective. And every day somebody mentions something, whether you're in the Fit Chat or whether you're on Twitter or you're on a stock board, whatever, somebody, like, you have FOMO all the time. And you're not understanding this trade in here. What's my risk to reward? I can make 2-3%. I could also lose 2-3%. How's that going to help you get to the bigger plan? Learn to focus on being picky to help you achieve your goals. But you got to figure out what those goals are first. And when you got it, and you got your plan, every day is not going to be a grind. Hey, this is my time to go for it. This is my time to be capital preservation. This is the time I'm just going to wait and see. This is the time I'm going to go chips and sit at the table. Get back to understanding why you're doing this. Okay? Let me know in the comment section. What are your goals? What's the big objective? And then work on your plan. How's it going to happen? What are you going to do? Step number 1, watch fit YouTube videos, right? Hey, watch them daily. Step number 2, stop trading like an asshole. Hey, that's a good number 2. All jokes aside, get back to figuring out why you're doing this. What's the objective? The big picture item. And then what's it going to take to get there? Start from there. Let's get into it. So, nice impulsive move. It does look like the impulsive move stopped today. We're looking for confirmation. It's a pause. It's trading sideways, but the rhythm of the nice impulsive move to the upside has slowed, which was very much expected in this range for SPX and NAS. Now we're going to see what's going to happen tonight in the futures market and going into Wednesday. A little bit of sideways consolidation would be nice too. We could be looking for a retracement. I'm not really going to be looking for retracements as of yet in terms of the chart. In terms of pulling it up, we'll see if we do confirm a reversal from here, then we'll start thinking about the retracements. But basically, this was our first target we were looking to get to. This upper trend line from the top of September to the top of February, we've paused right in that zone, right? We've paused right in this zone. We've been trading sideways. You know, very healthy consolidation so far. Like, the bulls are loving this. This was a previous target range I had over here as well. This is that 4085 range. If we break up over here through this trend line, you can see we try to get it up over it. The line chart's just closing right under it. Then we think about the red line, which is going to come from election night. Let's go back here to election night to our February top, right? And now that would line up over here at our next target, which would be a 1-to-1 move off of our low to our top to this retracement. Nice impulsive move up to that zone. So we still could be looking for a little bit more upside on SPX. before, ultimately, I think what's going to happen here, not to move on so quickly, is that wherever this retracement is going to come, whether it's directly from where we are or from here, now this move is going to be the big move, like final move, I think. And then we're going to go into a period of consolidation. We'll see what that looks like at this point. But, you know, let's just say if we did top in here, right? If we did top in here right where we are right now, we're not going to want to lose the 0.5. Okay, 0.5, 0.32, 236 is going to be the most bullish case. That's what we want to do. We want to hold one of those three zones, which would be 403, 399, 397, one of those zones, and then we'll be thinking for our next leg up, and we'll determine that based off of where this retracement comes from, whether it's going to start tonight or whether we're going to push up a little bit further. That's what we're going to be watching on SPX. I decided to take a lot off the table today because we saw this pause in here because it looks like the impulsive move has slowed down. So for me, basically, I'm in gold, I'm in Air Canada, and all the indexes are done. The Tesla trade was a loser. I think that's the first loss in the last 10, 11 trades, which is really good run, really good momentum, really good starting to get that breakaway from my higher low. Not back to a new all-time high. Of course, not close, but eventually we will get there. But right now, because I see this pause here, and those were mainly option trades, I really want to take it off and ensure I protect those gains right here. If we do see some more upside, there's a lot of great opportunities, especially in big tech with so many big bull flags shaping up that I know we're going to create a huge opportunity going into the next few sessions. So there's going to be great trades to be had there. So let's look at this move in here on NASDAQ. Fantastic move. Exactly what, man, they did it so nicely. I love it when they do it so nicely. Because when we were breaking out here and you see that right on that candlestick, that 2-minute, 5-minute algo behavior told us with confidence that we were going to go for a run. I love when they do it so nicely. Now this move, the next move, I don't think it's going to be so nice. I don't think they're going to put it on a silver platter. It's not going to be a silver platter handed out to everybody. I don't think that's going to be the case. It's likely going to get a little bit choppy. If this consolidation is, if that's our top right now and we start to consolidate, prepare to get a little bit faked out. Because, I mean, they gift wrapped this one. This one was so juicy. So I'm going to anticipate we're going to get into a choppy zone. So be prepared for that. Mentally prepare for some fake outs. Because this one was a little bit too easy, in my opinion. But beautiful move. If you think about the extension in here, we almost got up to the 2618. We're kind of just like, where did we park over here right now? The 2-to-1, we got up over, right? We could be looking at the 2.236. Let me see what the 2.236, which is not a real popular level. Let's look at this in here. Let's get rid of that one. And let's look at that there. Yeah, just right there. That's just where we paused. We don't know if that's going to be our top right now, but it makes sense to pause in this zone. This is the zone I was looking for us to see a pause today as we got back up into this key resistance level on the NASDAQ, which is also our 1-to-1 extension target off of our low to our top to our bottom. I do think this is likely where we're going to pause. If we shoot up a little bit higher, I'm still going to anticipate a pause in this zone. Right in there, we should look for a pause. They could push us up into that 13,795. We overshoot this zone and then stall. And then the stall in here should be a great opportunity for the next leg up and a lot of big tech, big run up. I'm going to be looking for that. That's the next big trade. That's the next big opportunity going to play out in the market is after the NASDAQ consolidation, wherever it starts from, that final, I'm saying final, but the next leg up. And then thinking about getting a run up into that upper trend line. Huge names. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple, Tesla, ARC, right? I'll talk about that next. But this is what I'm watching here that we're going to stall. Whether we're going to stall already, right? We have the evening star candlestick in here, indecision, or we break up higher, then I'm going to be looking up at 13,795. If we look at the NASDAQ in here, and we look at this beautiful run the NASDAQ has had, right? We look at this. It's absolutely gorgeous, right? Evening star candlestick on the daily, potentially. And then we go look at ARC. And we talked about this, that big growth is still beat down. And got a couple of messages today about people playing names that they're not really moving. And they're a little bit frustrated because the names they're playing are not moving. And the key is it's still a stock picker's market, right? Even just having that extra focus on the indexes. That's why we went QQQ calls. Russ, TNA, focusing more on the indexes because these individual stocks are not exactly moving. But we don't want to lose sight on ARC here. right? Once you go sleep, once you sleep on something, it's like, oh yeah, and then they remind you, right? So, is this going to be an Adam and Eve pattern in here, right? There's your Adam, Eve. This is a nice rounded bottom in here, which would then we would look for that breakout. Even a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders currently happening in the zone. This is a major watch for me now in the next couple of days. I've never had ARK on watch, never. Individual names, yes, but this is the first time I've put it up on my top board to make sure I'm aware of what's happening in here, because we start to see this goal, right? Market, obviously, NASDAQ would be running up, and these growth names that have been a laggard, that have been sleeping here, they've all had a bounce, and now they all look exactly like this. Talking about Palantirs, Space, names that we focus on, names that are directly in the ARK ETF. So many names, right? Teladoc, like so many opportunities. We could be looking for a huge run in those names, or even just playing ARK itself, calls itself. We want to get the confirmation. We want to see the volume coming in, and we want to see a breakout up over the zone. So don't lose sight of ARK. Yes. Do we think it's going to go back to a new all-time high? It doesn't need to. Do we need to say, hey, rotation is done and all this stuff? No, we don't need to do any of that. But there's still opportunity. Like, people are telling me that NASDAQ's not going to go. It's rotation. Well, here's the NASDAQ. Massive move. Easy money also. Easy money on that trade because they telegraphed it for everybody. It was perfect. That's why I don't think the next move is going to be that telegraphed. But here, right, we could be looking for the same thing. Doesn't need to be a new all-time high. We could be thinking about the golden pocket on ARK. Don't lose sight of this. And we think about that golden pocket run. The individual names inside the ETF would see a huge run. This would be going up to 139, 141. So let's keep eyes on it. Don't sleep on it, because the next run in the market after this consolidation could be the ARK stocks, because they are still the laggard. They're still very far behind. Not talking about fundamental value of those stocks, price to earnings, whatever it is, right? You say one thing, Kathy says another thing, whatever. We're talking about technical analysis opportunity in ARK ETF and the individual holdings that are in there. Let's get into a couple of the other indexes. Let's talk about BTC, because BTC's got a stall in here. So we're going to look for a couple of things right now. Obviously, BTC is paused, right? Pause right under this key resistance, and that is the 0.786 fib, and our resistance is all the way to that double top in here in that 60,090 range. Now, bear's unable to push it down, bull's unable to push it out. Volume's completely dropping off in here, so it's making me think now we're going to get a triangle in this range. Bull's still hanging up. They're still hanging around this range, which is favorable for the bulls, because you hang out near a zone, you weaken the zone, and then you look for a breakout. So bulls still have our support down in here. Key support for now, 563. 563, what is that exactly? Let's, instead of just trying to, let's put the actual indicator on it, marker on it. 56466. That's going to be our short-term key support. If we lose that zone, then we're going to be watching for the lower trend line, and then we could be thinking we got a triangle in here and potentially for the breakout or the breakdown. If we do break bull, a couple of zones to be watching. The double top range, which would be in that 61243 zone I've got in here. Upper trend line, lower trend line, then to come back in and act as resistance as it has here twice. The upper trend line that knocked this down, that can bring us up into this zone, and then a couple of larger targets, 67145, and then going all the way back up to this upper trend line, which would be a break of 70,000. Let's go check out the dollar, right? Because the effect that this could have now on BTC, on gold. Dollar, big falling wedge, bull break, right? We talk about this weekly pattern here, right? Wedge, bull break, wedge, bull break, wedge, massive run on the third one. Again, massive run on the third one. We've got this bull breaker here. So I'm anticipating we're going to see similar action. We're going to eventually gravitate back up in the dollar if history repeats itself. But in the short term, this is going to be, it's going to be a grind. These are weekly candlesticks. It's going to take a lot of time to break up over there. Short term right now, we had a little bit of a rising wedge here on the dollar that did get an overthrow, right? And now it is dropping down. So what was pretty interesting now for me, and this is why I took this gold position today, seeing what's happening in the dollar, seeing that we triple bottomed in here, chinko bottomed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there's like 10 touches in there. And we bounced right off of it nicely. We had the higher low, and then today we broke through higher high. We still need to crush through this zone. Dollar breaking down, BTC just hanging out in that range. Gold started to look pretty interesting. So I took exposure HGU, Canadian side, nugget. You could be playing that on the US side. I just had to get some Canadian dollars working because it's been stagnant since the score got stagnant along with Air Canada. So now we want to see if we could get a breakout through this zone, right? This is what we want to see on gold. Things are looking aligned for it to happen. The dollar pushing down a little bit, BTC just stalling, gold seeing this higher low in here, nice pivot off of this range. I want to see this impulsive move. I want to see a big impulsive move now. So what we're going to be watching for and looking for is to break that 1756 range and then get to this upper trend line. Stop for me would be if we lose this low, because I'm not like a gold bug or anything like that. I'm just looking for this opportunity here that we get a nice run. And if that is the bottom and we do go for a large run, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to be had. So that's what I'm watching on gold. Let's go check out the Russell, and then we'll move on and go into the individual tickers here. Hell of a move on the Russell. Everything's looking great. Exactly what we anticipated. Nice impulsive move. Everything looking good. Higher low off of the 0.382. We stalled. As soon as we got back into that range today, this is our key resistance in the chart. We stalled. We had a indecision candlestick opening up as an inside bar for now. 0.382 held. If we drop a little bit further in here, as long as we hold the 0.5, that's going to be fine. We paused over here on this extension move to the 1272. Perfect. Almost to the penny. That's fantastic. You always love when the algos take you to those points, right? You could trust it. Yesterday, the reason why I sold was because when we broke up over the zone, I wasn't even thinking 1.272 at that time. I was just really focused on our resistance in here, the manner in which this impulsive move ran. We saw an upper wick, inside bars, so you see some pressure down. That's telling me, no, we overshot the zone. We're going to go for consolidation. 0.32 would be a very nice low right now. We don't lose this low. We trade a little bit higher, boom, and then we eventually look for that larger move to the upside. Be prepared though. If we do lose that low, it'll be fine as long as we hold the backtest of this range. That's what I'm going to be watching in the Russell. Let's get into the tickers that are requested from the community. There's a lot. So it's likely going to be a 45 minute video today. First one is American Airlines. Let's check out what's happening in American Airlines. So let's look at this here. Let me go to the daily chart. Daily chart pausing. Okay, we're pausing in our key zone. So we still have this previous area of support coming in and acting as a resistance. We shot up into the zone, but what's the most likely scenario when you do this and you don't have bull volume? You're going to stall. So nice run into it. Now we look for a potential stall, and now we could say, are we about to set up a triangle up in here? So this is what we're going to be watching for. Can we get a triangle in here, which would start to form in this range? Still pretty bullish. Reopening stocks could be a lot more opportunity to come. But as of right now, we have a short-term pause in this range on American Airlines. We have a spinning top candlestick yesterday. The volume isn't there, bearish or bullish. So I would look for a tightening pattern. If we get a big spike in bull volume, then we could be thinking about the breakout. Let's move on, talk about Square. Square coming off of the low very nicely. The lower trend line held. We had a little bit of a triangle in here. Triangle broke both. We had a higher low yesterday. Today we broke to a higher high. Volume not so convincing, but we did get up over this upper trend line that we were tracking. Looking at that from a line chart perspective. So this is a good move on Square. Now if the NASDAQ and everybody gets going, right, and we start thinking about that bigger move, we could be thinking Square comes up over here and makes a new all-time high, right? Back up to that upper trend line, potentially. That's the pattern that I had drawn before that I was thinking about, right? We came down in here. If you made the entry in here, that was a great setup. Now we're looking up at our resistance, 252. Bull volume, not so exciting as yet, but we like the little trend change that we got in here. The low, the triangle break, upper trend line. Now we're looking up at a resistance up at 252. Let's go check out Tesla. So Tesla, if we look at this, no matter how you're going to look at it in here, the falling wedge target was hit. Consolidation is still pretty bullish. This is opportunity. We're going to be looking for opportunity. The reason why I took off the trade is because I have pretty strict rules on how much I'm going to allow a trade to. Like, I'm not going to hold a bag. I'm not going to be averaging down. I'm not going to let an option trade go 40-45% down, right? We have a limit and say, okay, this is how much I'm willing to risk on this trade. As soon as that's it, okay, we have a thesis for the trade. The idea was to hold that 4-hour higher low using the extended hours in here. It broke down, didn't get much reaction, so it's okay. Maybe we got to buy back in higher. But the way I'm looking at this right now, we look at this ADMA, 4-hour, non-extended hours, catching up. That's good. We've had a nice move in here. We're hanging around this range. That's great. Indecision today. Okay, this has opportunity to still go for the breakout. We didn't see the rhythm today. There's no rhythm today, so there's no reason to sit there and watch your options continue to deteriorate. Just came off of a 300% win. You take a 35% loss on the next one. That's okay. Generally, that's going to be the max I'm going to hold, and it lined up to that perfect spot. There's a huge trade about to happen, right? We just need to be prepared for it. And the moment it starts to go, or we see another signal that develops, like we saw on this one, using that 4-hour falling wedge, perfect entry. Let's go with that extended hours. Perfect entry. Nice impulsive move. I'm going to anticipate we're going to see a larger move in here. I'm looking for the larger move. I believe we're going to see an opportunity to go to the golden pocket. Is going to be this week. It's going to be tomorrow. Is going to have to happen next week. This is healthy. Very healthy. We're not seeing a lot of bear volume push us away from the zone. We just want to hang out in here. Hang out near this range, and then we can be thinking about the larger breakout up over the zone. Tesla, I'm going to be all over it as soon as I see momentum coming in, or something very clear that tells us, here we go. I'm thinking golden pocket, and that's being like modest. We could be looking for a larger move on Tesla, but definitely going to be looking for 761, 773, FSR. And the question is it the bottom? Well, let's check it out. I didn't look at FSR today. Well, it's going to be hard to say it's the bottom, right? It definitely is a double bottom for now, but we need to get a breakaway from the zone. We need to see some bull volume coming in. This is not any bull volume in here. It's just an indecision candlestick. It's a chart that's trading under the daily ADMA. When you're trading under the daily ADMA or you're trading over it, you're in momentum in that direction. The direction right now is bearish, right? So we don't have, man, we extracted everything we could out of this trade. Wow. ADMA pushed down, ADMA rejected today. Now you can see here we're flattening out a little bit, just above this zone. So potentially we could watch for some accumulation and an eventual move. Major focus for us is going to see something shift. Something shift in the volume, something shift in the price action, trend changes getting confirmed. We don't have anything yet. We just have a double bottom, almost a double bottom, couple pennies. A breakup over 1848 would be very healthy to say, here we go, we're going to get back into this zone. You like to get in a little bit sooner than when that, before that happens. Okay, I'm chasing because it broke 1848, but you'll be able to see it. You'll see it in the volume. You'll see it in a short-term pattern. As of right now, we can't say that the bottom is in, but there's potential. Okay, there's potential. We could just break this low tomorrow and falter right back down into the 14s, 15s. Let's see. We need to see something better in here. Potentially we go for a longer base. Look what's happening to Palantir. Palantir is just trading sideways. It's doing nothing. We could do the same thing on FSR. Bank of America. Let's check it out. Daily. Looks like we got some bearish divergence in here. Yeah, we got some bearish divergence on this chart. Once we came up over here and made a new high. Let me just see what XLF is doing. Okay, new high, bearish divergence. Let me see what XLF is doing in here, because likely doing the same thing. Didn't make a new high. Okay, so didn't make a new high. We've stalled up in this range, so we have a lower high on XLF. So now we could potentially thinking that we're going to get a tightening pattern over here. So let's keep that in mind. Let's go back, look at Bank of America. Look at that weekly chart. Yeah, weekly is a little bit extended, right? Weekly is a little bit extended away from that 80 MA. Let's check out where it is in relation to the Bollinger Bands. Okay, that's fine. It's inside the upper Bollinger Band, pinned between the 80 MA and the upper Bollinger Band, which is great. That's a very bullish trend. That's exactly what you want. Daily got a little bit extended. That's fine. Let's go back and check out this chart in here. Let me see the volume that's coming in right now. Pretty healthy, pretty healthy. It's just this new high had some bearish divergence. That needs a short-term correction. That's what's correcting right now. Looking good. I mean, it's all-time highs as well. Still looking very strong. These names, when they're at all-time highs, they're in blue skies. Let me just double check that it's blue skies. Yeah. Oh, no, it's not blue skies. No, there's previous price action back at the financial crisis. Yeah, 52-week highs. So 52-week highs, very strong. Little bit of divergence showing in here. So I'd be slightly just being aware of this upper trend line in here with the bearish divergence on the chart. Bull's still looking pretty good. Momentum could slow down a little bit in here. Okay, let's watch the bull volume. Earnings are coming up. Still a strong chart. If you're in, you don't really got a reason to sell. You got a 4-hour high-low pattern on your side. Maybe we end up forming a wedge, right? Maybe we end up forming a wedge in here. So you keep this in mind watching BAC moving forward in the next couple of days. Let's move on and talk about Shopify. So Shopify, what's it doing in here? Daily. All right, so at our key resistance, 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts in this range. Clearly weakening the zone, still very much a top fishing zone for the bears. So that's going to be the key focus right now. Can we break up over the zone? We should be looking for a strong move. If it breaks up over 1190 off of this top last move in here, right? Breaks up over 1190. Let's look at this in here. GP is just above 1207, 1217. We'll be watching this. Coming off of our top, we could think about a bigger move. 1253, 1311. We need to get up over that 0.382 first. Nice setup in here, right? Just pinned right under the zone. Bears are top fish in that zone. Easy stop for the bears. Bulls jump on it on that break. That's what you should be watching on Shopify. GME. Today was the first day I didn't have GME on my board because it was kind of just putting me to sleep a couple of days. So I said, you know what, time to look elsewhere. GME, very tight in here. This could be a very large triangle. You can see very tight. Zooming in. Looks like we're coiled up nicely for a bigger move in here. So we dropped down. When was this? We dropped down yesterday. Immediately bought back up. Oh yeah, that's right. They did the dilution. Yeah, no, I did have this on. I guess I just didn't have it today. They did the dilution, or it was a note. Can't remember exactly. I think it was a note. Immediately bought up. Very tight trading range. Look at the volume completely dropping off. So I'm going to anticipate a big move is going to happen on this chart. Right? We're going to be looking for a big move to happen in the next couple of days, if not tomorrow. Look how tight we are. That's not, GME doesn't like to trade this tightly, so we know there's a impulsive move about to happen. Lower trend line that would break us down to 144. Upper trend line would break us up to 247. There's resistances along the way in order to do that, so we're going to have to be really focused on what kind of bull volume comes in, and then you have your resistance at 204 and 218. That's why we're watching on GME. The doc, we haven't looked at the doc in a long time. Let's check it out. So DOC, nice bullish kicker candlestick closing at the high today. Decent bull volume coming in. Looking to put in a bottom finally on this monthly chart, right? That would be the bottom on the monthly chart after the huge run. Big shooting star knocked us down when we almost double topped. Now trying to find that monthly higher low. Weekly, double bottom, tweezer bottom on the weekly. So now we're thinking about a retracement. Where is this going to come? Let's look at a couple key resistances. Well, we got our key resistances in here. So we could be thinking about a move to 242. I like the close. I like the can. I like the volume. Everything about it. We don't get that higher open tomorrow. Then we're looking at an inside bar because those that just got in for the gap up will be selling. So that's what I'd be watching on DOC. Let's move on and talk about Facebook and Roku. Roku was very interesting today, especially that option activity. Facebook looking fantastic, right? Ultimately, we're going to be just looking for a bull flag here. Right, 4-hour bull flag. That's all we're looking for. We're thinking about a larger target. If it comes back and back tests our previous all-time high, that's going to be fantastic. Even better for the bulls. Buy in the zone, and then we can start thinking about our next pivot, just like the market, right? Look for our next pivot and start thinking about 324 range. So a little bit of consolidation started today. It was extremely healthy. Slow fade today. Not a lot of volume. Very exciting name for the next couple of sessions or going into next week. If the consolidation comes back in the zone, bull flag will still form. This will still be a beautiful bull flag on the daily. Now the question is, are these charts going to give us a bull flag on the daily, or is it going to be the 4-hour? If it's going to be the 4-hour, it's going to move quickly. If it's going to be the daily, we have time, right? We have time to allow that to develop in here for a couple of days and then look for that next leg up on Facebook. Roku, huge option activity happening today, and the rhythm went boom. Falling wedge broke bull. That was looking great. Back tested. Bam. Ran pretty hard today. Bullish kicker almost broke through our resistances, so we're going to be watching those levels tomorrow. Nice move in here. What's it doing after hours? It's up a little bit after hours, but of course that's not going to matter. It's going to depend on the futures market. So now we're looking up at our resistance for follow through on this. If we could break up over 375, we don't got much resistance up until that 430 range. Huge option activity, huge volume today. Beautiful algorithm. Like if you look at this here early, look at this, boom, beautiful. And then we finally went into lunchtime consolidation because these new highs, if you looked at it, had bearish divergence. This is where traders get trapped, right? They want to buy the new high, tons of bearish divergence, comes back down, it comes over here, hidden bullish divergence, double bottoms, nice run up at the end of the day. Roku, I've put it on my top charts now. We got to keep eyes on it. Roku's looking pretty good. Let's move on and talk about the score. And the score is weak. It's looking weak. Definitely. It treated us so good for so long, but now it's in a lengthy period of consolidation. We got to get closer for sure to that third reading, to legalization. We need to see that happening because nobody wants to buy right now. The thing is, nobody's really selling, right? All the profit takers like myself are, that's done. Now it's just trading. Look how long it's been trading in this range. And that was the most likely scenario. Trading in a very tight range for a long period of time. Since February 23rd, we are in April. We haven't traded up over these prices. That's it. Very tight range. Could be a triangle down in here. We got to move that just slightly lower. If we could hold that lower trend line tomorrow, pop back up. Volume is dead. Nothing too significant. We really want to see if we could hold this lower triangle and then pop back up to that upper trend line. That's what I'd be watching on score. Apple. So all eyes on Apple. All eyes on Apple right now because we were unable to break through our resistance today. But the volume was dead. Dead volume. Nothing. Bull or bear. Now, is this going to be a double top in here? And we start to gravitate back down. Or pause. Boom. Finally, we start to see some flow. Some big volume starting to come in. Apple starts to run. We start thinking about that 134, 135. 0.382, that was the target. That was the short-term target we're going to look for. That's what we hit today. Now, if we get a higher low and we hang out near the zone, we're really going to be focused on the volume. Get the breakout over the zone. I'd definitely be a buyer. Apple, yes, we have some short-term resistance up over here, but I do imagine we will see a bigger move into the 134, 135 zone. Let's check out LSPD. LSPD here. Check it out on the daily chart. Lightspeed, haven't looked at this in some time. So this monthly, well, far too extended. Yeah, big time. Shooting star candlestick. Finally, it came back to the 80 MA. Bulls bought it up nicely. Let's go check out this weekly chart. Lower wicks, lower high, higher low. Now trying to get that weekly trend change back in favor of the bulls. That would be nice. Let's look at this daily. So really, we're going to be focused on, can we get a break up over our resistance here at that 92.27. Nice volume coming into today. Nice rhythm. Hourly chart back on your side. 4-hour chart. Right? Confirmed. Could have even looked at that as the inverse head and shoulders. It got the bull break already. So now we're watching up at that 92 zone. Short-term support. That 79 range. Key support down over here at 72. That's what I'd be watching on LSPD and VTA. Let's check it out. All right, this is a beautiful horizontal channel that's taking place in here. Demand, supply, support, resistance. Very nice. Push down hard, weakened the zone, ended up getting pushed down again. This time we want to see a breakout. Volume isn't there. The bull volume isn't there enough to break through the zone, but that's going to be the key area. We could chop around in here for quite some time, right? We look at this on this daily. It could be just pivoting around in here. W bottom. Now you want to get that breakout over the zone. This zone should be pretty weak right now. We've tapped it so many times. We need to see a little bit of spikeable volume, and then we could be thinking for a move back up to 52 range. Let's move on and talk about JAMA. The Amazon of Africa. Is this the one? I'm losing track of where all these Amazons are from. So JAMA had a little bit of a nice candlestick today, and it's just got a shooting star. Not a shooting star, just a little bit of an upper wick. You don't want that much of an upper wick right now. So showed us some pressure at the 0.382. I would say the bear flag has been negated. Okay, the bear flag has been negated. Closed up over the daily 80 MA. We did break up over that 0.382. Bear volume is weak. Bulls started to push it up a little bit. Let's go look at this 4-hour chart. Why did I have that box drawn in there this morning? Yeah, the short-term resistance in here. Previous area of support. Wick, wicks. That's where we did stall. Is it a major red flag as of right now? I wouldn't say it's a major red flag. We're just looking for a 4-hour higher low. I would love to get this ADMA and then see a slow melt up back up. Short-term resistance is going to be today's high, 40. Our short-term support, I really wouldn't want to lose this right in here, that 35.99. 4-hour higher low, I want to see that pivot right away. Otherwise, you're giving back too much because of that upper wick. You don't like it. We see an inside bar tomorrow. If it's a bearish candlestick tomorrow, we should see an inside bar near the low of the range. Bulls could have a nice inside bar at the top of the range and it'll be fine. Then we can start thinking about a bigger move on JAMA. QBTC, you really have to relate it to what Bitcoin is doing. And I already covered Bitcoin on this video. Let's check out RIOT. So RIOT. And we're looking at RIOT from, let's look at the line chart in here. Right in there. And we did wick right off of it. Closed under it. And looking at this tight triangle in here, let's get this a little bit tighter. Looking at that line chart right in here. So it tells us we don't got too much time left before this break is going to happen. You know, a couple more trading sessions. Inside bar today, very low volume. Triangle is here. You could use the line chart. You could bring this down a little bit lower. Definitely, we got a couple more before this breaks. Volume's consistent, telling us a big impulsive move is about to happen, whether it's bearish or bullish. Just an inside bar today, so you're going to be watching the inside bar reaction tomorrow. Triangle could take us to April 12th. I doubt it. You know, it's a volatile name. I don't think it's going to be this tight. It's been a little bit tight in here, but you know, a couple of days, Wednesday, Thursday, I believe this will break, especially because BTC is due to get a break too, right? So we're going to see that correlation with what BTC is going to do, break out or break down. NEO. And NEO, yeah, very similar, right? NEO could be a triangle down in here. Nothing too significant in terms of the volume, no real volume. You know, is this an Adam and Eve in here? We're getting that rounded bottom. We just paused in here. We could do a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders right in here and then go look for that breakout to 46.16. Anytime you look at these candlesticks, you're like, okay, it looks pretty interesting, right? But the volume, right? There's nothing too exciting happening here, which means we could just be in a triangle down at the bottom of this range, which could take a couple more weeks. So we're going to need to see something a little bit more significant in terms of the volume. Let's check out VIAC. So the liquidation names. So I think there was still some more liquidation that happened. Was it yesterday after hours or was it today? What is this doing right now? So it must have been yesterday after hours. Nice bull volume today. Big time. So this is very notable. So now this got to have your attention. Bear flag. Dropped. This broke bear, but it doesn't need to make a new low. Big bull volume in here today. Nice. Now it's all about tomorrow. Getting the follow through out of this range. So let's look at this here. Let me take off the extended hours. Yep, 4 hour ADMA. That's what we're going to want to get up over. That's going to be our focus. So we tapped it today on non-extended hours with extended hours on. We just got over it for the first time. That's great. Let me zoom in a little bit further here. Go look at this hourly chart. Now we want to get something convincing, right, on the hourly, because we did get pushed down in here. Bulls did buy it up. So tomorrow, a little bit convincing. If we could break this 45, 40 range and start to see some volume coming in like we saw today, then we could be thinking that's the bottom and there's going to be a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of resistances that have built up along the way, so we're going to have to watch these zones. You got that resistance, 45.51. You got resistance here. You got resistance at 47.39. You got resistance at 48.39. All of these zones you're going to have on watch. But I do like the bull volume that came out of the chart today. Let's move on. Talk about SOXL. So 3X semiconductor. This really, you got to also check out what's happening with NVIDIA, AMD. This is a nice impulsive move in here, right? Consolidation, very low consolidation, could form a bull flag. Now it's basically double topping at all-time high, just slightly below it, right? That's our zone. That's our key zone that we're going to be watching moving forward. Bull flag is here, right? Look at this from a Heikin-Ashi candlestick perspective. It hasn't even told us we're slowing down in here, right? Just a little bit of a pause day. Everything's looking good. You would love to hold that low, right? 41.82 and get that breakout, which would also help the NASDAQ as well. It's looking pretty good. ADMA got a little bit extended, so we know we need that to catch up. Overall, it's looking fine. Bull flag formation. That's what I'll be watching on SOXL. Peloton, now very interesting in here, could be an ascending triangle. Now this candlestick today, encouraging signs. It's going to come up over here and weaken the zone. So a major focus is tomorrow to break that 119.14. And then we have that triple top in there, which would be a triple top on the 4-hour chart at that 127. So there's opportunity to run 119, 127 pretty easily. And then we can start thinking about a retracement back into that range. Let's go check out XL. And I think XL is trading at all-time lows. Yep, still trading at all-time lows, but decent volume coming in today. Bullish engulfing candlestick. So, you know, maybe we could be looking at this as a falling wedge right in here, right? All-time lows, you really don't got much to hang your hat on, but now when you see some volume coming in and a nice, almost a bullish engulfing candlestick, ADMA, that'll be your focus tomorrow, and that upper trend line. That'll be the focus on XL. If you do see increase in volume, there's a lot of opportunity for a play in here. Last but not least, I already did Facebook. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Peace out, everybody. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Peace.